I'm Claudio Lastrucci, one of the founders of Powersoft, and I've been doing R&D since the day one of the company. The concept of Unica platform is born before COVID, and we basically had touring amplifiers as a main stream in Powersoft, but after the first 15 years of activity, we moved quite a lot in the installation. Having the two types of products mixed together in the market, in the portfolio. Basically design installation amplifiers in a very, very similar manner of a touring amplifier in terms of ruggedness, resilience, and performance, generally speaking. At a certain point, we decided, okay, let's do something that is mix the things together, that has the best of both application and diversify the product once it's going to be addressed to the specific market for just the specific difference that are unique for the type of application. So Unica basically is a touring amplifier that is designed for hard condition and difficult environmental condition, but is optimized also for low consumption, efficiency, longevity, and reliability that are also very demanding on installation application. The touring portfolio is, let's say, shifting on products that have a slightly higher power ratings, because we have been able to squeeze a bit more power from the two models, so the 4-channel and the 8-channel, so 20K for the 4 channels and 10 kilowatt for the 8 channels. The goal was to achieve even higher efficiency in the overall system, so taking care of idle consumption reductions and efficiency during power operation. There's a large usage of wide band gap power devices, so this allows a step ahead in the efficiency domain because the latest power device generations are much more efficient and allows to make less heat, but also less space and weight saving and so on. So those are for sure the enabling parts that allows to go higher in efficiency and reduce size and weight. Of course, we have a power factor correction since ever. So we started the first product in 1997 with a power factor correction, and of course nowadays it's mandatory, and this is also a contribution to overall current demand on main side. The touring version are more optimized for peak power performance. I would say that it's not less efficient, but there's a little less care about idle consumption, because the profile of operation is different with respect to installation. I mean, a touring product has to work hard at the best for 5, 6, 10, 12, 24 hours straight in the worst condition, but it's not going to accumulate 100,000 of hours of operation usually. An installation product has a quite different situation, because it has to stay functional for very, very, very long time, so at least 10 years, 24-hour day, 365 days a year, and so on. So the profiling of power profiling, and it's optimized for this second purpose. One good difference on touring products is the analog input section of the power amplifier that has a very, very unique performance. So it's a fully floating inputs with an extremely high dynamic range, studio grade performance. This is one step ahead on any other input stage that has been developed for Pro Audio.
I think Powersoft has always been at the forefront of the technology and the power correction factor in doing some comparison testing against some of the competitors, where the new Unica series is putting out 246 watts per amp current draw, where the average of the competitors is around 126. It's a 90% difference in power output versus the form factor. And it's drawing 52% of the power to get an equal amount of SPL output than the competitors.
I think low latency is a very important thing on the day and age of everything digital. As a front of house engineer who mixes constantly on digital consoles alongside with plugin hosts, I believe it is in my best interest to keep latency at minimum. And the fact like a Unica DSP handles all the processing such as parametric EQ, FIR filters, and all the dynamics at low latency, for me is a no-brainer.
Very impressed with the Unica amp. It again really shows the engineering leadership that Powersoft has. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they pack so much power coming out of an amplifier with such little power draw from the service side. That's probably really the biggest strength, I think, in all of the Powersoft products is really how efficient they are. And this is just the next generation. We're very excited to transition to the Unica platform. It's just going to enable us to have even more power density, smaller packages, and still have great capability.
My first impression was that it's pushing the boundaries of technology with incorporation of features such as Dante, efficient use of power, compact size and weight. I see Unica offering a tremendous amount of savings for production companies. In the current market where margins are getting slimmer, competitors are entering the field and larger companies are acquiring smaller companies to gain scale and efficiency. This product definitely helps to provide a more competitive service to our client.
Efficiency is important, so you compare how much power in and how much power out and how much of this power is wasted in heat. Another interesting point is how much material you use to build an equipment. So basically, if you have a product that is more lightweight, it means that you employ less raw materials and the initial cost of raw material processing to build that device is lower. On the other side, efficiency is also related to the lifespan of the product, because if you have a product that lasts 3 years and then has to be changed and reprocessed to get back materials to build another product, let's go through a very energy costly process. If you have a product that has a lifespan of 10 to 15 years, that cost is paid once. So efficiency is a broader concept. So lower direct consumption of energy during the operation, longer lifetime of the product, and lower amount of materials that are used to build that equipment. Unica, as a general concept, has been designed very extreme in terms of power sharing capability. So by the datasheet, it's doubling the power on a single channel respect to the overall channel and the simultaneously delivering channel, but this is also very extreme in the touring version. The interesting thing of Unica, and this is anyway common to touring and installation, is the very high voltage and high current capabilities of the output stage. So the benefit of this specific wide safe operating area of the output stage that allows to drive much more power in terms of as a voltage and current on the load than the nominal power. This is a big benefit in a mixed system, of course, because you have much more headroom and you optimize the system with the same channels. You can mix up things that otherwise would require different scale of amplification. So, and this is simplifying the complexity in the warehousing, for example, models that you don't need 3 different models, one for monitors or for high frequency, low frequency mids and sub. I mean, you can really play with one system amplifier and use it for basically any application.
I think the form factor with the trucking space right now is a big help. Transport and labor costs have gone through the roof, over the recent years. I think having all that power in such a small form factor opens a lot more doors as to what the product's available to power and what it can be packaged with. I think with the 4-channel and 8-channel versions of the new Unica Touring, and I think power-wise, it can cover every application, and the power sharing between channels, being able to direct the output different between one channel and the other to maximize your headroom and maximize the output of the amplifier is a big advantage. Having one amplifier that can do your entire inventory is definitely a cost savings, not only from the product itself, but you also have the learning curve associated with it. Now you're not having to manage 3 separate sets of software in terms of the skill set of your staff. Everything's kind of managed on one platform is a big advantage.
I think Unica is just like an all-around state-of-the-art amplifier. From the robust construction, all the technology involved, and the sound, Unica delivers a wide dynamic range with a punchy, clear sound that I was able to perceive even at quiet levels. And when it comes to transient response and linear performance, it's just impressive. It helps to translate all the subtleties and all the dynamic changes of live music.
I can't think of another amp line that has this kind of power, this kind of efficiency in a single rack package. There's no competition as far as I'm concerned. Regarding sound quality, it's at the highest level bar that Powersoft has always operated at. Everybody loves the sound. Everybody loves the DSP capability. It's got plenty of power built into it to handle anything that we want to do regarding speaker tunings, system tunings. Workflow of Harmonia Plus is very easy to navigate. It allows us to continue on evolving our systems and our deployments and staying ahead of our competition, we think. A lot of our big shows, if you go into big arenas or big stadium, the amount of power that we have to deploy on the distribution side is enormous. The sum total of all of these little efficiencies and all the amps can add up to a significant savings in your power distribution complexity and considerations that you're going to have to engineer into it.
One of the things that stands out about Unica T is going to be the ability to perform based on Powersoft history with us to be a durable product, which is required in this touring environment and doing a lot of traveling shows. Its ability to be rugged enough to withstand the road. It can drive any of our loudspeakers. So basically a rack is designed with 3 or 4 amplifiers that are configurable to the application that we're doing at that moment.
As a processing, this is not so much different with respect to the installation version, but the decision that Powersoft have been taking since several years is to accommodate as much processing as possible inside the amplifier itself. So basically what you have inside the amplifier, and who is familiar with the Harmonia Plus is very understandable. It's transducer, speaker, protection are already inside the amplifier, but also system control is potentially, or let's say generally speaking, deployed inside the amplifier itself. So grouping the system allows to have one single interface that is visible as a front end, but that is inside each amplifier. So it's a distributed processing system up to system level management. One difference also on the touring version is a slightly different local interface that is based on the same display that is used on the installation version, but with some pass-through and straightforward access to certain functions that are more typical in the touring application. And also Harmonia Plus has also this more coherent to the live application performance and the speediness of operation respect to the installed products.
I think the front panel and the navigation is pretty straightforward and pretty intuitive with regards to getting quick access to the information that you need in a hurry in terms of the amplifier status, headroom, gain structure, Everything's right there at your fingertips. I think the fact that everything is housed under one platform where you have the control and the monitoring in show mode, there's nothing really that you require outside of the DSP that comes with the amplifier and the software in terms of setting up the show, designing the show, and monitoring the systems. It's all self-contained in one platform.
The way I go about tuning, or let's say tailoring the system to the music and the mixing, it's actually pretty simple. I will start by breaking down the system in parts. For example, mains, subs, front fills, etc. After that, I will verify levels, time, and start applying filters in order to accommodate the system to the room. During this entire process, I verify that using Unica alongside with Harmonia Plus is highly effective.
I think the whole ecosystem of Harmonia Plus and what Powersoft has going with their DSP is fantastic. The workflow in Harmonia Plus makes good sense. It's easy to understand. The DSP capabilities, there's plenty of power on board. I think you'd be hard-pressed to have an application where you're going to have more need for DSP than what actually is in the amplifier. I think there's an excessive amount of capability built in. We're at a point in time where our K10s are at the end of their service life, and now we have a solution to transition into that is going to take us to the next, who knows, 15, 20 years maybe. I don't know. But we're very excited about the future with the Unica.
One of the things that we focus on that's advanced capability of the Unica T is its ability to do FIR calculations in a very short period of time. That gives us more flexibility and creativity.
One additional difference between the touring version, Unica T, and the installation version is the ruggedized connectivity of output connectors in the amplifier. Unica Touring has specifically designed housing and string relief output shells that allows the system to be much more capable in terms of vibration and hard condition of application.
The Phoenix connector, it's a great idea. It saves on a lot of space in the amp rack and cost. Currently, you can simply design your own harness or have a custom harness designed for you that takes less space than the conventional connectors that we're currently using. And it's more field serviceable. You take off the Phoenix connector, add a new one on, and off you go.
The clamshell design that you guys came up with that string reliefs the cable, protects the termination, and allows us touring guys to disengage or engage the connector as often as we want is really clever. I think that that's a great solution.
As a front house guy, I try to focus on consistency more than anything else. I believe we all agree that it has to sound good at the end, but I think, most importantly, it has to sound good every day, or at least from one venue to another. And when it comes to that, the room can be a big challenge. And even worse, not having time to address the room can be a much bigger challenge. And in a situation like this, you're going to rely on the most efficient tools to get the job done. And Unica makes a big difference.
I think the initial thing that strikes you is the actual physical quality of the product, the build, the components, the ruggedness, the engineering. It's quite an impressive build overall.
Unica T 1U form factor is the best for us, right? You have the minimum amount of space to be used, so your amp density in your rack can be maximized.
Nobody has anything that is in this league. If you're looking for this kind of a package with this kind of flexibility and this kind of channel count amp density, you won't find it. You won't find it.